hour on VTV News. State President pays official visit to Chile. A National Assembly Q&A session continues, addressing key issues of voters' concerns. In a world news, Israeli strike in northern Lebanon kills at least 14.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It's currently 8 a.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Phie Linh, bringing you the latest updates. Now on Monday night, Vietnam time, a welcoming ceremony for State President Lương Cung's official visit to Chile, hosted by Chilean President Gabriel Boric, took place at Constitution Square in the capital city of Santiago.
State President Lương Cung highlighted the special significance of his visit, coinciding with the 55th anniversary of the historic 1969 meeting between late President Ho Chi Minh and the late President Salvador Allende in Hanoi. The meeting laid the foundation for diplomatic relations established in 1971. Both leaders acknowledged that economic and trade relations have continued to strengthen, with Chile being Vietnam's fourth largest trading partner in Latin America and Vietnam being Chile's largest trading partner in ASEAN. They agreed to focus on promoting cooperation in key areas, which include free trade, agriculture, sustainable development, renewable energy, science, education, tourism, defense, and security. Additionally, both sides committed to actively negotiating and signing bilateral cooperation documents, aiming to raise the bilateral trade potential commensurate with the two countries. At the conclusion of their talks, both leaders witnessed the signing of a Vietnam-Chile joint statement between the two countries' foreign ministers, a memorandum of understanding on defense cooperation between their defense ministries, and various agreements in agriculture, culture, and trade promotion.
We had an open and frank discussion on areas of bilateral cooperation, as well as regional and international issues of mutual interest. Supporting multilateralism and the peaceful resolution of international disputes, we are committed to closely cooperating and supporting mutually within international organizations and forums, including the upcoming Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum. We will strive to make positive and tangible contributions, fostering stability and development regionally and globally.
Having just concluded an official discussion with positive outcomes, we adopted the Vietnam-Chile joint statement. Both countries agreed on continuing to promote and expand cooperation and share experiences in areas that complement each other, such as environmental protection, climate change adaptation, sustainable green growth, agricultural processing, mining, and innovation. With the positive outcomes of this visit, the comprehensive partnership framework between Vietnam and Chile will continue to thrive, meeting the interests and aspirations of our two peoples.
Now, State President Lương Cung met the President of Chilean Senate, Jose Garcia Ruminoff, in Santiago on November the 11th local time as part of his official visit to Chile. He also met with Speaker of the House of Representatives and Chair of the Chile-Vietnam Parliamentary Friendship Group, Carol Carriola, on the same day.
During a meeting with the President of the Chilean Senate, the Vietnamese leader emphasized Vietnam's commitment to strengthening ties in Latin America, with Chile playing a key role. He supported enhanced cooperation between the two legislatures, including increased exchanges between parliamentary friendship groups, delegation visits, and collaboration in forums like the Interparliamentary Union and the Asia-Pacific Parliamentary Forum. He suggested that both parliaments work to support the ratification of agreements signed between the two countries. The state president also conveyed an invitation from the chairman of the National Assembly Chan Thank Munt to the Chilean Senate leader to visit Vietnam at an appropriate time.
Meeting with the Speaker of the House of Representatives and Chair of the Chile-Vietnam Parliamentary Friendship Group, the state president emphasized that strengthening parliamentary ties is a key pillar of bilateral diplomacy, helping to create a favorable legal framework between the two countries. He expressed confidence that the establishment of the Friendship Parliamentary Group would further enhance parliamentary relations. The Chilean speaker agreed to continue fostering cooperation between the two national assemblies on legislative matters, staff training, research, and multilateral coordination. She also expressed supporting each other's positions on regional and global issues of mutual interest.
State President Leung Keung met with prominent business executives from the Promotion Society Phie on Monday as part of his official visit to Chile starting last Saturday. Chilean businesses expressed strong interest in partnering with Vietnamese firms in sectors like mining, banking, finance, and IT. Vietnamese state president emphasized the significant untapped potential for cooperation and encouraged leveraging incentives from the Comprehensive and Progressive Partnership for Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Vietnam-Chile Free Trade Agreement. He welcomed Chilean investment in trade, renewable energy, agriculture, mineral processing, digital transformation, and climate change mitigation. The state president also highlighted that economic cooperation will remain a key pillar in bilateral relations. Continuing the Q&A session at the 15th National Assembly's 8th session on Tuesday morning, Minister of Health Đào Hồng Lan clarified several issues within her area of responsibility.
According to regulations, prescription drugs should only be sold with a doctor's prescription. However, most pharmacies currently operate without licensed pharmacists. What is the Ministry of Health's responsibility in managing this issue?
The 2016 law on pharmacy strictly prohibits the sale of prescription drugs without a prescription. Just a few days ago, I went to a nearby pharmacy to buy a prescription drug, and the pharmacist informed me that it could only be sold with a doctor's prescription. Although there may still be exceptions in practice, oversight on this matter has been strengthened.
Have there been any improvements in the income and resignation rates of healthcare workers?
When the salary reform proposal is implemented, there will be a regulation allowing healthcare workers who undergo 6 years of training to start at salary level 2. If they remain at salary level 1, like other bachelor's degree holders with less than 6 years of training, it places them at a disadvantage.
Deputy Prime Minister Le Thanh Long also added further explanations on issues raised by deputies.
We have addressed institutional issues, particularly in terms of bidding, procurement, and resolving specific obstacles. However, some public healthcare facilities still experience localized shortages, particularly of certain specialized drugs. Stricter regulation, concrete planning, proactive measures, and reinforced discipline are essential.
Now, on Monday afternoon, before answering questions from National Assembly deputies, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính delivered a report providing further explanations on several issues of concern to the public, such as public investment disbursement, electricity supply, and digital transformation.
Updating the socio-economic situation for October, the Prime Minister reported a positive trend, surpassing September's results. Overall, the achievements for 10 months of 2024 were better than in the same period in 2023 across most sectors.
Based on the positive results, the government will focus on directing efforts with high determination, great effort and decisive actions to maintain momentum and strive for a GDP growth rate of over 7.5% in the fourth quarter and over 7% for the entire year. This will ensure the fulfillment of all 15 key socio-economic targets for 2024, laying the foundation for the implementation of the 2025 plan and the 2021 to 2025 period.
The Prime Minister acknowledged the slow pace of public investment disbursement and outlined 6 measures to achieve over 95% of the annual target. These include addressing legal barriers, speeding up compensation and land clearance, improving investment planning, fast-tracking key projects, and enhancing oversight with clear responsibilities and results. on preventing and fighting wastefulness, the Prime Minister highlighted ongoing challenges and outlined key tasks and solutions for the government in the coming time.
The government will review legal regulations, reduce state spending, strengthen inspections in key areas, and strictly address violations. We will also focus on simplifying procedures and resolving delayed projects and weak financial institutions.
The Prime Minister noted that electricity demand is expected to rise rapidly, with an increase of 12 to 13% in 2025 and even higher in subsequent years.
To ensure a steady electricity supply for sustainable economic growth, the government has proposed restarting nuclear power projects and expanding offshore wind energy. A revised electricity law has been submitted to the National Assembly. We urge the National Assembly to soon approve these measures to resolve legal bottlenecks in the energy sector.
The Prime Minister also outlined solutions to accelerate digital transformation, science and technology development, and innovation. Those solutions included boosting digital infrastructure, training at least 50,000 high-quality workers for the semiconductor and AI industries, and implementing policies to attract major tech investments.
Later, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính addressed all the questions raised by National Assembly deputies. He provided explanation on key issues of interest to voters, including measures to enhance decentralization, efforts to eliminate temporary and dilapidated housings, and strategies for both short and long-term disaster response. The Prime Minister further clarified policies to address inefficient and stalled projects and initiatives to accelerate digital transformation.
I appreciate the government's efforts to strengthen decentralization. However, the Prime Minister's report highlights ongoing shortcomings, particularly at the central level. What solutions are being proposed?
We propose reviewing legal regulations, party resolutions, and the roles of agencies, including the laws on the organization of the National Assembly, government, and local authorities. Strengthening supervision, resource allocation, and implementation capacity at all levels is essential for effective decentralization.
Eliminating temporary and dilapidated houses is an urgent task. What solutions are in place to complete this by 2025?
Over 300,000 households have dilapidated homes. A steering committee should be formed at all levels. We propose granting land authority to commune and district authorities and diversifying resources, including private sector and community contributions. Relatives of these households, along with military and police support, should assist in the effort.
What is the long-term solution to address natural disasters in the future?
Natural disasters are a global issue that requires stronger multilateral cooperation and international support. We need to implement the parties' climate change policies and mobilize resources from both the state and international partners. The Mekong Delta is facing subsidence, landslides, drought, and saltwater intrusion, while the north and central regions are also impacted by landslides and droughts. I have directed the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment to develop a resource mobilization project and transfer necessary technology. Effective climate change and disaster management are essential.
Some stalled projects and weak credit institutions remain unresolved. What are the underlying causes, and what solutions are proposed?
The Politburo has directed the resolution of 12 major projects, with the government handling those within its authority and seeking the National Assembly's guidance on others. 2 banks have been transferred, and the remaining 2 are being addressed. However, it's important to ensure the safety of the banking system protects public interests and prevents asset losses.
Concluding the National Assembly's Q&A session on Tuesday afternoon, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn reported that over 2 days, 136 deputies participated in questioning and 18 in debate. The questions raised were relevant to the concerns of voters and the public, reaffirming the effectiveness of the National Assembly's oversight. He called on ministers and agency heads to address challenges and implement new solutions to meet set goals. Later that afternoon, the National Assembly passed the resolution on the 2025 Socio-Economic Development Plan and the review of the Long Thành International Airport Project's investment policy. Coming up next, Vietnam speeds up construction project of North-South high-speed railway. And painting by King Ham Nghi introduced to the public. Welcome back to VTV News. Vietnam's seafood exports have reached a major milestone, surpassing $1 billion in October, a nearly 30% increase compared to the same period last year. Now, this surge is a positive sign for the country's seafood industry as it enters the final quarter of the year. According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, exports to key markets such as China and Hong Kong, China saw a 30% spike, while the United Nations, Japan, and the European Union also reported significant growths of 31%, 22%, and 27% respectively. Shrimp and crayfish in particular are expected to see further growth. By the end of October, shrimp exports had reached over $3.2 billion, a 30% rise, while crayfish exports totaled nearly $1.7 billion, up 10%. The growth in these exports is poised to drive Vietnam's seafood industry forward, further solidifying its position in global markets. The Vietnamese government is planning to invest in the construction of the North-South high-speed railway with a total investment of more than $67 billion. The project aims to meet growing transport demand and contribute to the optimal and sustainable restructuring of the country's transportation system.
The North-South high-speed railway project was mapped out 15 years ago. At that time, Vietnam's GDP was approximately $147 billion, so the implementation of the high-speed railway project, estimated at $56 billion in total investment. As Vietnam's transport demand grows, and the country's economy is projected to reach over $465 billion this year, the implementation of the high-speed railway project, estimated at $67 billion in total investment, is attainable. During the implementation of the project, the Ministry of Transport will mobilize various capital sources from government bonds, official development assistance or ODA capital, foreign preferential loans and other legal domestic capital sources.
Regarding the midterm public investment from 2021 to 2025, the government will allocate more than $18 million for the preparation process.
The Ministry of Transport will continue to call for investment in commercial areas dedicated to providing transportation for passengers to stations.
The project should meet the target deadline to prevent possible changes in the capital sources and estimated costs for period 2025 to 2035. In addition to the high-speed railway, the government will invest in other projects in the future.
The implementation of the high-speed railway is expected to ensure public debt safety as the total investment is lower than the permissible level by 5 to 15%. With a stronger economic foundation, Vietnam now has the resources needed to support this ambitious project.
The banks of Ngan Pho River through Thôn Thiem Tu Commune, Hương Sơn District, Ha Tinh Province are severely eroding, causing significant loss of agricultural land. In recent years, erosion has intensified in Tiên Phong hamlet, damaging around 10 hectares of tea plantations and completely washing away approximately 6 hectares. Local residents, together with communal authorities, have called on higher authorities to address the issue and implement an embankment project to prevent further erosion and protect farmland. The Vietnam Fine Arts Museum in Hanoi on Tuesday received the painting Hillsides in Ideli Ibrahim, Algeria, by King Ham Nghi, the 8th of the 13 kings of the Nguyen dynasty that ruled in Hue, An Nam from 1802 to 1945. The painting was presented by Ahmadine Dabat, a 5th-generation descendant of King Ham Nghi. In addition to the painting, the book titled Ham Nghi, Exiled Emperor, Artist in Algeria, was introduced to the public, providing valuable insights on the dual identity of the emperor as a patriot and an artist during his exile in France and Algeria.
Hillsides in Ideli Ibrahim was created in 1908, depicting the countryside landscape near King Ham Nghi's home in Algiers. His work involves the application of tiny dot, a paint, to the canvas, also known as pointillism, a painting technique developed in France in the late 19th century.
The ceremony to receive his painting is an important cultural event. King Ham Nghi is the pioneer of modern Vietnamese fine arts. French art was first introduced to Vietnam in 1925, after the Indochina School of Fine Arts was founded.
This painting has both artistic significance and historical value as it was created by a patriotic king. We cherish this special gift as it conveys the noble gesture of King Ham Nghi's descendant.
In addition to the painting, Ahmadine Dabat introduced the Vietnamese version of a book about King Ham Nghi that she has spent many years compiling. The book gives readers an insight on how the king's artistic styles and techniques developed during his 50 years of exile.
These paintings represent a part of my life, reflecting how I experience a lot of emotional ups and downs with melancholic thoughts, as well as the joy within me portrayed by myriad shades.
I was most fascinated by the letters he had sent to his friends. His letters conveys the painful emotions of a person bound by grief as he was exiled from his fatherland, as well as his great passion for painting. He was also a nature lover. That's why nature is one of the major themes in his paintings, and also a way he expressed his contemplation about his life.
After the failure of the Can Vương Save the King movement against French colonial rule, King Ham Nghi was captured and exiled to Algeria. There, he was always tormented by homesickness. During years of exile, he unleashed his artistic soul as a journey of self-expression. His 91 paintings and other sculptures have been preserved in several private collections and at the Musée in Paris.
Coming up next in our world news. Israeli strike in northern Lebanon kills at least 14. And China to impose temporary anti-dumping measures on EU brandy imports. Now, at least 14 people have been reported killed and 15 others injured following an Israeli airstrike on the town of Ain Jacob in the far north of Lebanon. The Israeli missile hit a building on Monday where 30 people were residing.
Residents of the northern Lebanese town of Ain Yaqub searched through the rubble for belongings on Tuesday, a day after the Israeli strike in the area. Rescue teams scrambled to pull survivors from under the rubble.
We have people who have been staying in the apartment downstairs for over 4 to 5 years. A mother and 4 Syrian children live in the lower house. They have been with us for 4 to 5 years. We do not have any political party connection, nor do I believe that my uncle or his wife's family who were here from Al-Sharara family do as well. My uncle is from the Horb family because my mother is from the Horb family. My uncle is the one in the house with his family and his wife's family.
My brother said, I want to come to your place. I said to him, come here, you are welcome. I do not stay here in the winter. I come here in the summer. They've been here for 40 days only.
Israeli military said its forces targeted a military structure with a terrorist inside based on precise intelligence, taking measures to minimize collateral damage. The strike hit the village of Ain Yaqub in the northern Akka region, which is far from the Hezbollah militant group's main areas of influence in the south and east.
China's Ministry of Commerce announced on Monday it would impose temporary anti-dumping measures on certain brandy imports originating from the European Union, effective on November the 15th. The decision follows a preliminary investigation that found EU brandy producers were dumping certain products in China, threatening to cause substantial damage to the domestic industry. Importers of brandy originating in the EU must place deposits with Chinese customs based on dumping margins of between 30.6% and 39%. The measures applied to grape-based spirits in containers less than 200 liters. China started an anti-dumping investigation into brandy imported from the EU on January the 5th of 2024. Yiping Festival, also known as the Lantern Festival, is one of the most important events of the people in northern Thailand. For over a month, hundreds of thousands of colorful lanterns have adorned the city, creating a magical atmosphere. The annual Thousand Lantern Festival has attracted over 500,000 visitors who come to pay their respects at the revered temple by hanging lanterns as a symbol of good fortune. Wat Phradat Hapri Punchai, Lapun's most sacred temple, is particularly breathtaking during the festival. Locals and visitors participate in the tradition of offering lanterns, writing their wishes on them before hanging. This event has not only become a major tourist attraction, but has also revitalized the traditional craft of making Lana-style lanterns. Coming up next is the weather forecast. And that's the end of VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or visit our YouTube channel, VTV4go. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.